What is up, everybody? It is IGPaw, and in this video, I want to talk about my free-to-play that's on day 11 here, and kind of the path forward, right? Essentially, I've built a beginner's farming guide, which you can follow. It's going to make you be successful. It's going to get you through all the content, and it sets you up at what levels to build teams for, like, let's say, Doom Raids, Dark Dimensions, campaign requirements, all that stuff. It gives you the outline, and then it leaves you open to be able to make those decisions on your own, kind of. And most people have already made content like that, right? And I will continue to make efficiency guides and all that good stuff. But at the same time, what makes this a free-to-play account unique? What am I doing that's different? What can attract people to watch it and enjoy it? What would be fun to me? What's something different? A reason people should subscribe and see things on my channel that are very, very unique. You know what I mean? Other than my opinions or my thoughts or my event guides, all that good stuff. But for my free-to-play account, what can I do that people have always wanted to do but never done? Okay? We're going to talk about it in this video. Farming our favorites, how I'm going to do it on my free-to-play, what that's going to look like, all that good stuff. We're also going to be talking about my farming guide currently and being efficient and saving all your resources and micromanaging everything and the ultimate outcome of that as well. And then we're also going to talk about, can I have fun on Marvel Strike Force free-to-play 2023, build who I want for content in the game / end game content. Am I able to progress? Will my alliance want to kick me out because I don't have the meta teams? How is everything going to function? Am I still going to be competitive and relevant, right? So those are all things we're going to talk about, and I'm going to also talk about how I went in through here for my roster, picked out my favorites, which characters I'm actually going to be building and using throughout the game's entirety, and kind of how I went about it. So if this is something maybe you want to try on an extra account, or you're, you know what I mean, you want to make changes, you want to try something, none of this is going to be factual. It's all just me running a test, right? So I'm going to do what I think a lot of players want to do, and that's build your favorites and see if you can enjoy Marvel Strike Force. And I'm going to do it free to play. All right. So first I want to talk about my following my focused, efficient guide, beginner's guide, and the outcome, which focus on what levels to build and shift your focuses and such as that, and the ultimate outcome that we all know will be successful, right? So currently, I'm hyper-focused on my arena team, which I'm using as my ultimate 7-5 raid team. Now, you're going to be progressing, and as you get closer to level 70, working towards level 70, you're going to be building up a few characters here and there to complete challenges to make sure you're maxing out the tiers on these challenges to get the ultimate reward, right? And flash events as you see fit for your account. But you're staying hyper-focused on very few characters, right? Now campaigns, eventually it's going to be right about level 70. It's going to unlock for Heroes Chapter 7, Villains Chapter 7, Nexus Chapter 8. And it's actually going to take certain requirements like City, Global, Villains, Hydra, and here on Nexus Chapter 8 it's going to take other requirements. So my beginner's guide actually sets you up to be able to do that and which characters to focus, gives you kind of an idea. So that way you kind of know what's coming and when. So around level 70 you're going to start building out the characters. You can obviously do it a little earlier with your resources. Just bear in mind that's what you're building towards. And if you've got a plan and such, following that guide, absolutely you can start building them before level 70. Now, ultimately, this is going to lead us into Doom War as we approach level 75. Because you have to be level 75 to do Doom War Chapter 2, 3, and 4. So you have to wait till you're level 75, essentially, to even use the teams that you're building that's required for this. And then you're going to move into hard modes at level 75 and 80, right? So you're going to be working towards all of this, moving up to level 80. And that beginner's guide that I made most recently is giving you all the choices of your own, giving you my tips and advice, and gives you the outline that you can fill in the characters you love, right? And we're going to be using a lot of those tips and that outline here on my free-to-play as well, but I'm also going to star the characters I love and go after them first and foremost. It's going to be a total different outlook. I'll break that down here in a minute. Now, at level 80 is what's recommended for Doom Raids. And there's people out there already saying you can do it at level 70, level 75, all this good stuff. All it says level 80 plus is recommended, right? So we're going to go in here, not in here, right here. Squad level 80 plus, gear tier 15 plus, ability level 7. You can get to all these achievements other than the squad level being that high. You can get these gear tiers and stuff sooner on some of your characters. I don't think you could build all 25 characters for the requirement for Doom, as well also while trying to beat campaign requirements and focusing your challenges and staying on your arena team and your Dark Dimension teams. I don't know that this is completely possible until you hit level 80, but you can definitely get into them before level 80 and then kind of build out the teams as you go. And that's what my guide focuses, my beginner's farming guide that I most recently put out. Definitely check it out. It walks you through all that and when to focus on these things. And you can adjust and make adjustments at which level you're doing this or when you're building these teams or who you're building. it leaves that door open for you, but it's helping you save as many resources as possible. So when you hit level 80, you can go in and just level up your 5 teams real quick. You're going to have enough gold, training modules, resources to do that because you've been saving them up to this time, level 80, getting them from events, game modes, other sections, other resources, other ways and avenues, right? We all know the outcome. You're going to hit level 80, you're going to beat Doom raids, you're going to continue to enhance the best in slot raid teams or whatever, and move into incursions, and then new raids are going to come, and you're going to move into that, and you're all the while going to be progressing through Dark Dimensions with those characters you're using in raids, and that you use for your node, your campaign unlocks, right? And then you're going to use the teams that you built for the campaign unlocks and raids and Dark Dimension to play in War and Cosmic Crucible. We all know the outcome. We've all seen it. Endgame players now are all doing this stuff, constantly building the meta, the new best raid team, constantly moving through that. That's kind of where their game's at. We know what's going to happen eventually. You're going to be successful. Hopefully you'll have some extra resources, but you'll be following a cookie cutter outlined, to the tooth, detailed form. You're not building your favorites. You're not, maybe you are, because maybe some of those cookie cutter teams are your favorites, but you're not going and just focusing your favorites. You're not going after arena with the characters you're building, as opposed to what's recommended and suggested. You know what I mean? You're not doing Doom raids with teams that you love, of characters you love. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to talk about how we're going to be able to accomplish this, hopefully, and what you can expect to see here on my free-to-play account. So definitely like and subscribe. This makes my channel unique, I do believe. I don't know anybody else out there that's going at it like this. Everybody's really following how to save all your resources and have hundreds of millions of gold, and don't invest in anybody unless absolutely you're using them for raids or a game mode, which is cool and all, and we're kind of going to do that, but we're going to do it with our favorites and not the best in slot, not the meta, not the cookie cutter. You know what I mean? Now, obviously, once we get our favorites, we're going to be working towards acquiring meta characters and building out some of the best, obviously, but I want to do it while building my favorite characters. So if I quit playing this free-to-play or I give up on all this together, I know that at least I experienced it, and we can answer the question finally. Are you able, free to play 2023 in Marvel Strike Force, to build your favorite characters and enjoy the game? Be competitive, beat the campaign modes, the nodes. Are you able to stay relevant with your alliance, or are they just pulling away in Doom raids and you don't have the right team, so you're falling behind? Are they going to kick you out? I want to answer all those questions, and that's what I'm kind of setting this video up for. I know that was a long intro and a lot to say, but it's the truth. I want to know, and I want to answer the question for myself. I know a lot of people out there want to know the same thing. Have they been building all the cookie cutters and not building their favorites first and foremost? Like, a lot of people quit because it's so cookie cutter in Marvel Strike Force, or it can be, especially if you follow YouTube content creators like myself or any other that give you the most efficient, meta, up-to-date tips to do it with the minimal investment, right, for teams and such. But what I did essentially here, or what I'm doing for my account on day 11 here, level 45. Understand this is a resource management game, team builder. Maximize my free resources through challenges, flash events, and events in general, and from milestones. So that's with all that in mind. So I know that the game is a resource management. You can't just build everything willy-nilly, right? So I'm going to try to stay focused. Like, I'm going to keep farming, focusing on my arena team. But I'm going to go in and I'm actually going to heart 5 Mutant, 5 Bio, 5 Tech, 5 Skill, 5 Mystic. And those are my favorite characters in the entire game currently. And I want to focus them as soon as possible. And I'm going to go about that as best I can while doing it. Now, that being said, obviously I'm going to make sure I'm maxing the tiers here, right? So if I get 5 Bio that are my favorite, 5 Mutants, and I keep building and building and building them up, they're going to be able to clear all these original challenges. And some of them are going to be blasters, some are going to be city, some are going to be what I need for or global for these other challenges. And if I need to, I'll level up other characters as I go as well to make sure I'm maxing these challenges out. That's the most important. Getting those extra resources every single day in the max tier. I'm going to try to stay competitive in arena, all the while doing my best in raids. Obviously, I don't know how great we're going to do with some of the characters I'm building, but we're going to find out, right? And it's going to be my favorite characters, and we're going to see what happens. I think that's going to be interesting, unique, and wonderful, right? We're going to see how they do against some of these meta war defenses, how we do in war overall, you know, having to pick and choose who we kill and fight. We're also going to be trying to maximize these flash events like this, our golden opportunity, save the world, world warrior, all that stuff. And then the month-long stuff, we're going to get all those extra resources to the best of our ability, free to play with the characters we love and build, okay? Now, if I choose to build something for an event, like if I were to build the new warriors in the past with Bifrost to participate in certain events, that's something I can choose to do as well. But first and foremost, I'm going to make sure I build these 25 characters for Doom raids. They're also going to be used for my original challenges. And these are the 25 characters that are going to be the biggest on my account before I start building other characters, essentially. Hopefully for the most part. And we'll stick to that as much as we can here on the free-to-play. I want to see if I can have fun and build my favorites. So I now want to jump in. Let me see here real quick, read my notes. With all that in mind, knowing, you know, the ins and outs of Marvel Strike Force, it's a resource management, all that good stuff, I'm going to pick my 5 favorites from each of these origins. I think they're called origin traits. I do believe. So like biotech, where they originated from. These guys are skill. It's all based off their physical and mental abilities. Personally, they're not like mutants, or they're not biologically enhanced in any way. You get what I'm saying? So what I did is I went through each one, and we're going to actually go through each character right now, and I'm going to tell you why I'm taking them off the list, or why they're in my list. And I've already sorted it down some, so we actually have 83 characters. I want to say 83 characters that we're going to choose through between the 5 origins. So this is the bio characters, 5 bio characters, and this will be my Doom Raid team. There may be some adjustments as we move further in. I may plug in some different characters. We'll see, but these are the 5 favorite bio characters. Now, that in mind, it doesn't mean I don't love Captain America, Hulk, Winter Soldier, Groot. I love Marvel, and I love these characters from the movies. I love the characters in the game. What I did is I poked out, or I hearted, characters that stand out to me and have become some of my favorites from playing the game over the years, as well as some of my favorite characters of all time from when I was a kid, right? So obviously I would love to get Zombie, Iron Man, Nova, Red Hulk, Captain Carter, you know, Scarlet Spider, all this stuff. But we're going to do it at a different pace and in a different way. I want this to be unique to my channel. I want people to subscribe so they can see this. So as you can see, I currently have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 characters hearted for the bio team, bio characters. Out of all the bio characters, these are the 9 that I love the most. And I got to reduce this down to 5 of my favorite characters of all time. And we're going to kind of mesh with like team synergies. We're going to mesh with knowing who does what and which Doom Raids, as well as what maybe is coming in the future, as well as just all the things that could go through possibly your mind. And I'm going to pick out my favorite, 5 favorites that I want to focus on. Now, some of this may be left up to who we get. I don't know how I'm going to get Cosmo. I don't know how I'm getting Spider-Woman. I don't know when I'm getting Korg or when he'll become farmable. I know that it takes forever to get Spider-Man symbiote until you get into the end of Doom War. At least that's where it used to be. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of variables going into it. But some of my favorite bio characters are right here, and I'm going to actually start eliminating. So I'm taking Spider-Woman off because I just, personally, I like her because of that game. I like her kit. I had a good experience on a free-to-play. But I'm not going to heart her because I didn't even know of this lady before playing this game. Korg, he's one of my favorite from the movies. He's got to stay in. Hands down. He is one of my favorite characters. He's made me laugh so many times watching the Marvel Endgame, all that good stuff. You know what I mean? He's just a phenomenal character. I did really like Cosmo in the new Volume 3 of Asgardians. Is that enough to keep Cosmo in there? I don't know. Drax is probably my favorite Guardian of the Galaxy because every time this guy talks, I laugh. Bautista played him so great in the movies. I love this character. I love Captain Marvel. I love the girl that played her in the movies. I like the thought of it and everything about it. Is that going to keep me going after her? I don't know. And I love some of my greatest villains. The Venom movies coming out now with Carnage. I didn't really like Woody Harrelson as Carnage. That was kind of weird. He did it justice, of course, but I like Carnage from back in the day on the Super Nintendo when you're playing through this side-scroller with Spider-Man and you're beating up Carnage or you're fighting Venom and you're chasing him up the wall on the building. It was on the Super Nintendo way back in the day in the 90s. And I loved it. And I've become a big fan of Spider-Man's symbiote here in the game because of this game. I didn't even know of this character before this game, but I have loved the character. So we're going to go ahead and process of elimination. Cosmo I just started liking because of the movie. Other than that, I know she's great in the game, but I'm not going to be going after her here. Captain Marvel, she doesn't really have synergy with any of these other characters. Great standalone character. I love her. Eventually someday I hope to build her, but we're going to remove her for now. We're down to 6. We got to remove one more. Who's it going to be? Everybody's going to say remove Drax, right? He's a dead character. He's not great in the game. Don't build him. This, that, and the other, right? I got Venom, Carnage, Spider-Man symbiote. You can already see some synergy forming there with these bio characters. I don't know what to do. Honestly, I just don't know what to do. I should drop Drax, but I really, really love this character. Phenomenal, awesome character. I'm going to leave it at 6 for now. I don't give a shit. This is my game. I want to have fun, right? So I'm going to leave it at 6 for now. And these are the 6 I will be focusing before anybody else. Maybe I'll drop one off. If I don't get Spider-Man Symbiote, I'm going to focus on the 5 characters I get first here. And I'm going to wait till I get 5 of these 6 characters, or all 6 of them. Maybe I'll build all 6. I don't know yet. So those are the 6 we're winding it down to. Okay? Obviously, I love Scream. I love Anti-Venom. But I didn't even know those characters tell this game. And they don't take the place of any one of these as for my favorites out of the bio characters. Okay? Now, in no way, shape, or form does this saying that I'm not going to build Nowhere. I'm not going to build Infinity Watch or Gamma. It's not saying that. It's not saying I'm going to not build the new arena team. What it's saying is I'm going to build those characters first for my Doom Raids, my original challenges, and I'm going to farm them. I'm going to start them up. I'm going to enjoy them and see how we can progress through the content. Does that sound exciting? It might sound dumb to some people, but I think it sounds exciting. So let's move on to the next origin trait. So we just did bio. What is the next one? Mystic, Mutant, Skill, Tech. So Mystic and Mutant is where we need to get to. M's. So Mutants is the hardest one. I'm going to leave that for last. I'm actually going to go to Skill and Tech first because Mutant is one of the hardest ones. We're probably going to have a few extras in there. Sorry to say, but we are. So Skill. Skill was actually kind of somewhat easy. You can see we got 10, 12 characters hearted that I truly love from the movies particularly. Okoye is one of the best actresses ever from Walking Dead, and she did phenomenal in the Wakandans, the Wakanda Forever, all the movies. I love the Wakandans, but as for how good they're in the game, the synergies and stuff, are they my favorite characters in the Skill? No, they're not. Captain America Sam is by far one of my favorite characters of all time. I love him from Falcon. I love his relationship with Captain America in the movies, and I like what he's become, as well as he's a great character in the game, so I'm going to heart him. I like the Sharon Carter and Maria Hill from the movies. She was kind of hot on Captain America originally, so I like her. I don't know that's going to keep her hearted, right? Maria Hill's great. Her and Nick Fury mesh really, really well together, and I like the character in the movies. I don't know if that's enough to keep them hearted. So obviously we have original characters, and they're going to be hearted no matter what. OGs, Kestrel, Deathpool, Spider Weaver, and the 4th one, Vol. They're all going to be hearted no matter what, so when I get them, I will be having them some way in my roster. Now, I loved Red Guardian, the guy that played him in the movie. The guy is hilarious, couldn't fit into his suit. I like his setup in the game. He's quite wonderful. Black Widow is one of my favorite characters of all time. From the Avengers, obviously. I'd really love to build her. We'll see. I love Shang-Chi, Nick Fury. Oh my god, they're all my favorites, right? So, Valkyrie, I love her from the movies. She's a great character. I'm not going after her. She's going to have to be backlined. Okoye, I love her from the movies. That's not good enough to be hearted in a game, right? I got to use common sense to be competitive in the game while building my favorites, right? And we're limiting this to as many characters as we can, ideally 5. Nick Fury is my favorite. He's staying hearted. Captain America's Sam's my favorite. He's staying hearted. Black Widow's my favorite. She's staying hearted. I love Gamora from the Guardians of the Galaxy along with Drax. She's probably going to stay hearted. Punisher, I love him from the actual movies. I didn't really never know he was in Marvel personally. I just liked him from the movies back in the 80s and 90s with Dolph Lundgren and such. I grew up watching that with my dad. He's one of my favorite characters. I will build him for skill military, obviously, but I'm not going to heart him. He's not one of my focuses, right? Kestrel's a bonus. Again, Maria Hill, Sharon Carter, I don't know that I can keep them hearted just based off watching a movie, so I'm going to unheart them here. I'm serious. I love the characters, but I can't take them all, right? So, this is all new to me. This is me just, winging it, essentially. Maybe I'm going to have to build these 2 here for a while for my arena team and stuff, but ultimately I want to focus on these other characters first. Shang-Chi, I loved him from the movies. He's an amazing character in the game. He can do everything in this game. All around 100% solid character. I'm keeping him. So, for sure I got Cap Sam, Nick Fury, Shang-Chi, Black Widow, 100%. Gamora, that leaves Red Guardian. Just because I like the funny guy that couldn't fit into a suit, amazing character in game, does not mean I can heart the guy. So I'm going to take him off, and I'm going to try to narrow it down, right? I'm going to try to be conservative with my resources. So we still have Gamora. Kestrel's a bonus, so we narrowed it down to our 5. And then Kestrel's the bonus because she's an OG character. That's just something I'm doing personally. I'm hearting the OG character. I want to build her. And honestly, I'm going to build these 2. So guess what? I'm going to heart these 2 again. I do love them enough. I'm hearting them. I don't give a shit. That's having fun in Marvel Strike Force, okay? And these are the 8 we're taking for skill. Yes, I said I was going to pick 5 from each. Guess what? I'm going to build and use them as I need them. These are the 8 characters at the end of the day that I want to be maxed out for skill. I want them to be my first G18s for skill. Some may change, some may add later down the road, but as of now, these are my favorite characters. I want to see if I can be competitive in the game with them. So that's how we're going right now. I hope that makes sense. I don't know that I'm making a ton of sense to myself, but this is what we're doing. I think this is going to be exciting, fun, interesting. So as you can see, we got Kestrel again, so I'm not even going to consider this for tech. She's on both of them. That's a bonus. And you can see all the ones I've hearted. And some of it's because of this game or because of a movie. And I love a lot of these other characters, but Wasp is not going on it because she's not a great character in the game. Narrowing it down to as few characters as I can, Wasp is coming down. Again, I love some of these other characters. Not really, actually. It's a lot of minions. And I don't know anything about this dude, but I like his suit. Didn't really care for Minerva in the movies. I like Yellow Jacket, but I like him better as MODOK. In the new Ant-Man movie. I don't know anything about this lady. I've seen him in a TV show on Disney Plus. I'm not hearting him. You know what I'm saying? I'm going after my favorites. Is what I'm trying to do. So I love Shuri. She's going to be hearted. She's great in the game. She's staying. Kate Bishop. I loved her in the show with Hawkeye. I love Hawkeye. It's not worth keeping her hearted. I don't care how good she is in the game. Ultron's one of the big bads. I got him hearted right now. I don't know if he's going to keep the heart, though. I love Hulkbuster. We've always wanted Hulkbuster in the game. A big part of me wants to be able to build that. For sure, Agent Coulson is going to be one of my favorites. He's staying hearted no matter what. I love this character. It made me cry when he died in the movies. I'm building him. End of story. Shocker was one of my favorites growing up. Something that I know from the game is I'm going to get Doc Ock. So I don't actually have to build Shocker. Because when you have Doc Ock, he's going to summon the character that you didn't bring on your 5-man team. And for this, it always goes to Shocker first. So if he's not built up on your team, Doctor Doom actually summons a minion of Shocker. And it's built as tough as your Doc Ock. So you're getting Shocker and Doc Ock for just investing in Doc Ock. So we're going to unheart Shocker here. But he was one of my favorite characters growing up, one of my favorite villains. Nebula has really grown on me, especially in the most recent Guardians of the Galaxy. She's just a wonderful character. I don't know if we're going to keep her hearted yet. I love Vision from the movies. I don't know much about him in the comic book series. I know that he isn't the greatest all-around character originally, but now is in part of one of the best raid teams for tech currently. But they're about to get a new team as well. I do love Vision from the movies. Is that enough to keep him hearted? I don't think so. So we're going to unheart him. Maybe if they made a new version of him or something, but really it's only because of who played him in the movies. Him and Wanda's love was phenomenal. I loved him in the shows, but I just can't see it in this game. Two of my favorite characters of all time, Iron Man and War Machine from the cartoon back in the day. Love them characters. We're going to wait on it. Now, I know I'm going to need Ghost. Ghost was great villain in the movies. Didn't really care for the villain myself. In the Ant-Man movies, I more like to laugh. That Hispanic guy in there, he's also in Jack Ryan. Amazing actor. It just makes me laugh all the time. Is that enough to keep her hearted? I don't know. We're going to see here. Lady Deathstrike and Weapon X. I loved Lady Deathstrike because I had her card. I'm going to unheart her, though, because this is more of a, hey, I had her card. I liked her. Her fingers are kind of gross. She's part of a great team. I'm not going to heart her. I love Rocket. Would love to build Rocket. I don't think I can keep him hearted. Guardians of the Galaxy are one of the worst teams. I do love Rocket, and it made me cry. It made me sad on Volume 3 of Guardians of the Galaxy, so bear that in mind. It was a great movie, and I love him from the movies. I just don't know that I can heart him in the game. So Kang, great villain. Never even knew of the guy, honestly. Seen him everywhere growing up. He's in the new movie. I hearted him because he's an amazing character. I will build him to help my account grow. It's a necessary evil. I don't have him. I'm not going to heart him, though. It's not somebody he's not one of my favorite characters. You know what I mean? He's just super OP in the game. So if we get him, we will build him up just to help us progress, obviously. Doctor Doom's one of my favorite bad guys. I watched a lot of Fantastic Four growing up and the different variations. I'm going to build him when I get him, but that's no reason to keep him hearted right now. You know what I mean? So he will be built when we get him. Doc Ock is probably going to be one of my focuses. I'm going to try to get to him as soon as possible, unlock him and build him. We're narrowing it down a little bit. Star-Lord, love him in the movies. Chris Pratt is funny as all get out. I love the character. He just sucks in this game. And I can go with unhearting him, essentially. I do love the character, but I only like him because of the movies, essentially. And that's the same with a lot of these. I loved who played Ultron. Who was that? Something Spade? No. James Spader? Is that his name from Blacklist? Yeah, James Spader, I think is the name. The voice actor, Ultron. I want him hearted. He's a great character in the game. I'm gonna build him. I want to build him. That's what's gonna happen. Falcon, he does speed manipulation. His kid ain't terrible in the game. I love him as a character. I love him with Captain America, but I'm gonna unheart him. It's not a necessary character. I'd rather build some other characters over him. Again, I'm liking Nebula, but I think I'm gonna unheart her. I'm trying to sort these down, guys. I love War Machine. War Machine and Iron Man are two of my favorites of all time. I'm going to build them. I don't care. I'm going to build Ghost as big as I need her for gamma raids. She's a necessary evil. You know. I don't need her hearted, though. Ant-Man. I love the movies. I love the character, but he's not that great in the game. He's going to be on an awesome war defense. Again, I don't really want to use him personally. I don't want to build him personally. I didn't even know about the character until the movies came out, essentially, so it's not that important to me. So, if we look at it, we can cross her out because she's also skill. We can cross out Doc Ock because he's a legendary. We can cross out Ultron because you get him from Dark Dimension. Sure, he's a legendary. We could cross these 4 off. Boom, 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 leaving us 1, 2, 3, 4 characters. So I guess I could have left another one in, but we are at 8. I'm going to be building all 8 of these characters, hands down. I don't care. It's who I'm building. And Ghost will probably go on this list as well eventually. But for now, she's unhearted. It's not like a favorite character of mine or nothing. I'm going to build these other 8 characters for tech. So let's go talk about Mystic and then wrap it up with Mutant. And then kind of give an oversight as to what this means for my account. If you don't understand yet, we're going to be building these characters, using them in Doom Raids, using them in Dark Dimension. I'm going to max them out and do as best I can. I don't care if it takes me 3 months to beat one Dark Dimension level. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to see if you can have fun doing it. You know what I'm saying? Or if it totally ruins the game. So I didn't know about Dagger or Cloak before this game existed. Obviously, they're one of the best teams. New Warriors are phenomenal. I didn't even know about them. Should I heart them? Should I keep them? Are they great? Yes, we're going to see. Icarus and Cersei's the biggest catch-up mechanic, and I'd be an idiot not to use them. As well as I really loved Cersei from the movie. Icarus is kind of a douchebag, killing his own friends and shit. The guy's a jerk-off, right? But absolutely, I'm going to build them because they're going to help me get resources to build my favorites. I can't ignore common sense or facts. You need these characters, right? Scarlet Witch, the lady that acted as her, she's by far one of my favorite from the Marvel series with the Avengers, her and Vision. I love her, but for the same reason, I got to unheart her. Because her and Vision, just because I love them from the movies and stuff, I didn't even know about them before the dang movies. You know what I'm saying? So, personally, it's not worth hearting somebody. I love Sylvie from the TV show, the Loki seasons. I can't heart her, right? Vol's one of the originals, so you can just cross this off of even thinking about I'm going to build Vol no matter what. It's an OG character, and when you're playing a game, you generally want to build the unique things to it, right? I would think. That sounds fun to me, so that's what I'm going to do. Juggernaut's one of my favorites. Doctor Strange is one of my favorites. Cersei and Icarus go together. Ghost Rider is one of my favorites. Deathpool's an OG, original gangsta for Marvel Strike Force. Black Panther, I love the Wakandans, right? But again, like Okoye, I can't logically say I'm going to build them. So that's one that I can cross off my list. Moon Knight's one of my favorite characters from the TV show. And honestly, it's going to keep him on this list because he is one of my favorite characters in this game as well. Spider-Weaver, I love that she's got some of that Indian heritage, that Indian... essentially, it's like she's got Indian tie-ins, you know what I mean? And I love that, like with the boots, the moccasins, all that good stuff. It's just phenomenal. Dreamcatcher type deal. She's a spider character. I really like the concept. I believe she's an original character as well. So we're going to go ahead and hold on to her as hearted. So if we get her, we're going to build her. I love the character concept, and I love that backstory. You can call it whatever you want. I'm building her. Thor Infinity War, by far my favorite Thor edition. I love Thor as well. I'm building Thor Infinity War, okay? Again, Ultimus, he's part of the game. He's an original character. I'm going to build him and try to enjoy him. Wong, love him from the movies. I haven't even seen what his kit is in the game. I want to build him, though, because I love him from the movies. I'm sure he's great. I'm sure he's good. We're going to use him. Again, Dormammu doesn't need to be hearted. I'm going to build the character when I get him, right? Thanos and Ebony Maw, I loved him from the movies. I'm going to build him. Heimdall is probably my favorite Asgardian, even more so than Thor, maybe. His character completely sucks, but he's one of my favorite characters from the movies. I didn't even know the guy existed before the movies. Is it worth keeping him hearted? I don't know at this point. Let's look at who we got left. Oh my goodness, who do I go with? See, I like Silver Surfer, but it's not really my Fantastic Four. I don't know, man. I'm dropping Silver Surfer. Alright, so I should drop Wong because I just love him from the movies, but we're going to keep him. Doctor Strange Heartless, I love the series. He's great in the game. I'll probably end up building him right, but I'm not going to heart him. I didn't even know about the character until recently. They just created him on the What If series. Amazing character in the game. I love Doctor Strange. Originally, he was hearted. We're unhearting him. So, these are the characters I'm going to keep. They're my favorites, and I want to build them. Hands down. I don't care if they don't find team synergy. I don't give two hoots. I won't have Ultimus till he's obsolete, essentially, because you'll have to have all your characters at 7 stars to unlock him. I really wish they would change that so you could actually enjoy the characters sooner. You know, like put him actually on a Dark Dimension unlock or something. I don't know how they would do that because they already got characters on Dark Dimension. So that's interesting, but I would really like to get access to him sooner and enjoy him throughout the game. Rather than already having everything done, you're just doing the grind to get him. I would love to build him. So, Cloak and Dagger, I didn't even like these characters, honestly. I've never heard of them. But they are phenomenal, and I've grown to love them here in the game. They make the game so much more enjoyable, easier, fluid. I'm keeping them hearted. I'm going to build them when I get them. Icarus and Cersei, same way. I really, out of these 4, I only ever knew Cersei from the movies, and honestly, I like her. Their kits are phenomenal. They're a necessary thing. We're getting them. They're going to go with Deathpool. They're going to be hearted because we're going to build them as soon as we have them. Now, Vol and Deathpool, these are original characters to the game. Honestly, Moon Knight, Doctor Strange, Juggernaut, Thor Infinity War would probably be my 5 characters. So, we'll make adjustments as we go. I'm going to unheart some of these. I want to clear it down to the 5 most as best I can. I love Thanos and Ebony Maw. I'll probably build them, but we're going to unheart them. Let's get down to the bare bones here. Wong, I love you, but you're not part of the 5. Ultimus, I'll build you when I get you. We don't need you hearted. Again, I'm going to be building these characters. They don't need to be hearted. When I get them, I'm going to use them in arena, catch-up mechanic, all that good stuff. They don't need to be hearted. So we're down to 7 characters. Ghost Rider, I can unheart. I love him as a character. I love him from the movies. Don't really know much else about him. We're unhearting him. He's pretty cool looking, though. Again, cross off Vol and Deathpool because they're original characters. We got 4 characters here. I'm adding Wong. Where'd you go, Wong? Out of all the characters, I think Wong hurt the most on hearting, so there you are. We're hearting him back. Him and Doctor Strange together, I'm sorry. Obviously, we were building the Horsemen to get Apocalypse, but I'm more focusing here early game to see if we can have fun, build our favorites, get through Doom Raids, and push towards that content, unlocking these Horsemen and their teams to get Apocalypse. I'm not looking that far ahead. So if we look at it, we got Wong, Strange, Thor Infinity War, Moon Knight, and Juggernaut as 5 of my favorites of all time. Again, obviously Thor. Everybody loves Thor from the movies. Strange from the movies. Wong from the movies. Juggernaut's probably one of my favorite mystics in this game from when I was a kid. And I just fell in love with Moon Knight from the TV show and here in game. Just being completely honest. Those are the ones I'm going after. So, let's go to Mutant and talk about that. This is going to be the hardest one. And there may be quite a few mutants we keep hearted. We'll see. So I love all these characters. They're great in the game. I enjoy the characters. They're aesthetically pleasing, but we got to unheart certain ones, right? So by far my favorites growing up as a kid: Wolverine, Cyclops, Beast, Bishop, Gambit, Blob. Magneto was one of my favorites. Archangel, Jubilee, Phoenix, Rogue, Storm, Psylocke were all my favorites, okay? Now, we do have X-23 hearted because she was great in the movie with Wolverine. I'm going to unheart her. I love the kid that played her. This lady's more full grown, and she's like a beast, really great in the game. Eventually, I'll probably have to build her to get my Doc Ock, right? X-Force. Bear that in mind. That's something I'm going to choose to do for my account to have fun. Looking through these, who did I not list as my favorites? Omega Red. I like him. He's enjoyable. We'll build him when we get him. but he's not a focus. He's not one of my favorite mutants of all time if we're narrowing it down. Negasonic, I love her from the movies. I really love her from this game. Again, we'll be building her to unlock Doc Ock. Mystique's one of my favorites. She's going to be getting built no matter what. We're going to build Apocalypse when we get him. He doesn't have to be hearted, right? Same thing with Archangel. He's a horseman. This will be mid to end game type stuff. I'll build him when I get him. If you don't like Deadpool, you're insane. Well, maybe not insane, but everybody loves Deadpool. I want to build him. I'm going to use him for Doc Ock Unlock. I love Deadpool from the movies. I'm trying to narrow this down. Rogue's a horseman. I love her. She's going to get built when we get her. I'm leaving her hearted. And this was really hard for me to narrow down. If I could narrow this down to 5 characters, who would they be? So we're taking Deadpool down. I love him because of Ryan Reynolds. That's it. When I was a kid growing up, all I remember is he could throw a pencil at like a little dot in the ceiling, and the pencil would... He was like Bullseye, you know what I mean? He could like throw pencils and hit very accurately. Is a memory I've got from when I was a kid. I'm building Blob. I don't care. Magneto Phoenix. I'm building. Jubilee's my favorite. One of my favorites. Storm. I love Storm. I want to get her original costume here. They haven't put it out yet, but I'm hoping one of these squares gets the original white one with the black trim. That's the costume I would get for her personally. I like Halle Berry in this look here, but I really like the white trim, the nostalgia of it personally. So I'd really look forward to that. We're building her. Hands down, we are building her. Psylocke, I loved her because I had her card. Is that any reason to keep her hearted? I don't know. I don't think so. We're unhearting her. Let me look at who we got left. Obviously, Rogue's a horseman. We'll get her eventually. We're going to build her. I love Rogue and Gambit. The whole thing, taking her glove off from those original seasons. If you don't love them and you haven't seen those X-Men, it's pretty hard not to love them. I'm keeping them. So I'm going to build these X-Men. I don't care. They're staying on my list. And some other ones may come into play. We'll have to see, but I'm going to focus these ones. My arena or my Doom Raid team will probably look like Phoenix, Magneto, Jubilee, Rogue, Cyclops, or something along. You know what I mean? I don't know. We'll try different mixes and matches of these characters. Maybe we'll throw Blob in as a tank. Maybe we'll put Wolverine just for the nukage. You know what I mean? Who knows what we're going to do? But these are the characters I'm going to try to beat Doom Raids, move into Incursion Raids. It may not be impossible, but I think it's going to be fun and exciting. So definitely stay on the lookout for that. Let's see how many characters we narrowed it down to. And bear in mind, I'm going to build others too once we get them, like Dormammu and that stuff. But they're not going to be hearted. And if they're hearted, it means I can invest into them without ever worrying. And essentially what we did there is we know we're going to have 5 of each trait for the original challenges, as well we're going to have characters for all the challenges and stuff like that. So we got 2, 4, 6, 8 full rows. So 8 times 5, 40 characters. We kept 15 extras. I can narrow it down more, but I'm not going to. There's no reason. I want to have fun, right? So that's what we're doing. We're keeping them hearted. Obviously, I'm going to use Silver Surfer in my arena team, but I'm going to start building some of these other characters as it's efficient and smart. I'm still going to try to stay somewhat hyper-focused, building out my arena team being my raid team. So currently, I'll be using my 5 best characters. I got all these hearted. That makes it difficult. But Silver Surfer is going to be in there as one of them. You know what I mean? These are my 5 best that I have access to currently. That's what we're going to do. I'll probably drop Silver Surfer, stop investing in him now, and start leveling up a character I do have hearted. So, Wolverine. We'll start leveling up Wolverine. Once we get Kestrel and Fury, we'll level them up. Shang-Chi, you know what I mean? We'll plug them in. We'll find a way. And I think it's going to be fun and exciting. See if we can stay above on gold, training modules, how we doing in challenges, how we doing arena, how we doing wars, raids, all that stuff. I think it's going to be very interesting. We're going to put it to the test here in this series. Definitely like and subscribe. Yeah, I think this is going to be very interesting. All right. Good day. That's all I got. I'll catch you in the next video. Stay tuned, bruh.